Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Been a long time coming this one. We have got issue 27, which is stages 87 to 90 of the Hero Collector release, Build the Ecto-1. Now, as you can see, I've actually got the main body or the internals for the Ecto-1 still on the shelf here. The only thing we're going to need is the bodywork, because we're going to be working on this door area, and towards the end of the stages we're going to be working on the window just at the back here. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I've put the link down here to the Hero Collector website, and there is a US and a UK link. You can get this all the way from pack 1, so you can build up to where we are at the moment. But it's been a while since we've done this, so I can't wait to get cracking on that, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So as you can see, in stage 87 we're going to have the interior of the door here, and we're going to be starting to work on the gears for the mechanical wind mechanism of the window. Now, this is what the interior looks like, and it is worth noticing that we are going to need the window that we had in one of the previous stages. Not so much in this stage, but for the stages coming up. And obviously we're going to need the door as well, because we're going to be attaching all of this to the inside of the door. So this is what the door trim looks like on this side, but it's this side that we're more interested in at the moment, because we're going to be taking this gear here. Now, it's flat one side, and on the other side there you can see a little gear in the middle, and that's just going to go over that larger point just like that. It's going to be held into place with a HP screw. So I've got that here, and we'll just screw that home. It needs to be tight, but not too tight that it doesn't turn. So I'm just going to loosen that up just a touch. That's perfect. The next gear we're going to be putting in looks like this. As you can see, this one has got a tiny gear on top, but we want to make sure that's face down this time. So that's going to go on to this point here. Putting that in, just to make sure that engages to that gear so that they both turn. In there, we're going to be putting a different screw. It's a flange screw, and that's a UP screw. Or an up screw. Quite interesting. And then we just tighten that up as well. And then once again, make sure it's not too tight, but enough to actually hold the window weight it's going to be. Otherwise the window's just going to keep falling down, but that looks absolutely perfect. And then that would normally be all there is to do, but we do have these little stickers again. Now these are really, really important. You won't believe how important these little stickers are. And the reason being is because when the windows go up and down, the last thing you want is them scratching on the plastic and metal trim. So what we're going to do is we're going to be putting just 2 of these little felt adhesive stickers on here to stop that happening. So I've actually just taken that off with my tweezers here. It doesn't matter where they go, as long as they go where the window's going to be. And you want it to be below the line here, otherwise you're going to see it when the window's in. Do the same on the other side here, and I'll put that one there. That's both of those on. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 88, we've got some more of the window mechanism, and we've got some of the inner door. So we've got some of the details here. We've got the window winding handle here, and another cog, so that will make it able to make the window go up and down. We've got the window already that we're actually going to mount into that. So now, once the trim's on, we're going to have a working window with some trim in there. The only thing we're going to need the other part of the vehicle for is to take this lead off, which is a door switch, and we're going to be mounting the door switch into the big beast we've got there. And then once that's all mounted, we'll be able to affix the door onto the vehicle. So the first thing we need is the door handle, and this is the one with the flat end like that. So that's going to go onto the inside of the door card there, and it is a keyhole pattern, so it's pretty easy to see how that's going to go on there, so it fits nice and flush in there. Turn it over, it's going to be held in with an EP screw. So I've got that here, and put that into place. Now the door handle is static, so that can be quite tight in there, just to make sure that it is seated in there, so it is perfectly flat. But that looks good. Now you want to be careful of this, because that's probably quite a delicate part there. It doesn't do anything, the actual lock here, but it is delicate. Make sure you don't knock that. Now we're going to start the winding mechanism. This is the winding handle here, and that's going to go through the hole that we can see there from the other side. So that's going to go in like that. Then we've got a gear to put over the top. Now this is shaped as a semicircle, so this can only go on one way. That's going to go over the top like that. And that's going to be held in with a KM screw, which is a flange screw. It looks just like that. That's going to go in there to keep that cog in place. So when we turn the handle, that should be able to turn, no problems at all. We then got another gear which is completely round in the middle, and that's just going to go in between these two gears here. So now when I turn the handle, it's going to turn the whole lot. And that's held in with a UP screw. And there we go, we tighten that one up. And now you want to make sure, while we've got it all open like that, that we can operate it without any resistance. Now I've got a little bit resistance when I get to the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen this one up here until I'm happy that this is going to go all the way around. Now you probably noticed that I am oiling these up. I know you're going to be telling me, or some of them are going to tell me, don't put oil on plastic, it degrades it. But I've never had a problem with it. But I want to make sure that that's able to freely go up and down without jamming the window. Just padding off the excess of any oil on there, so the oil's only in the gear parts there. And the window's going to be going in this way with a shorter edge here towards this point here. So the longer edge is going to this side. So it's going to fit in the door, or match the door exactly there. That's just going to go in like that. And that's held in place with a UP screw. Now before you put it in, you want to make sure that it's up in an up position here. The reason for that is when you put this on, you want to make sure that when we push it down on the screw, it's not going to just go into this cavity here, so you can't get the screw in properly. But where it's there, I can hold that in. And screw that, no problems at all. Just enough to keep that in there, not too tight, because we want it to slide just like that. Now we're going to hold that in place with the door. So for that, I am going to be bringing around my part work upgrades towel here, or it's like cushion. As you see, it's nice and padded because I don't want to scratch the door, so I'm going to put that down here. This is available through Partworks Upgrades, and I'll put a link down the bottom of the screen here. As you can see, we had already done the little catch in this door, and we've also put the hinge on that already. But what we're going to do now, turn this upside down. But when we do that, we want to make sure that the window here goes underneath those two hinges there. So it's going to kind of look like that. Then this goes over the top, and there we go, that's into place. So now when I wind the handle up, as you can see, the window goes up and down just like that. But we'll get this into place, and to do that we're going to be screwing it in first off with two IP screws at the top, and then down the bottom two DM screws. So that's one of the IP screws in there. I think I'll go down the bottom right here with one of the DM screws. Now that is going into metal. I am going to drop that in a little bit of oil. Now I know the top ones were going into metal as well, but these just seemed a little bit hard to get in, so that one's in fine. Another IP screw just at the top on the other side here. And then finally, just a DM screw at the bottom. And there we go, that should look like that side, that side, and I should be able to take the window down, as you can see, all the way, and then back up again. Perfect. Now we have got some details to put on the door. So the first one is this barrel, which is semicircular, so I'll push that in and that should look just like this. Then turn it over, keeping it this way round. We've got some trim to put inside here now, and that's basically these rods here looking like that. So we've got one just going in this side here, making sure they're round the right way. Making sure it lined up. Yeah, that looks good there. Push that all the way home. That's the first bit of trimming, and the same on this side. Move that window mechanism out of the way a second. And that's in place, and there we go, that's the trim on. Now I need to get cable 66H, which is cable V, and that is attached to the vehicle up there, so I'm just going to detach that now. Now cable V is just a door switch looking like that. We're going to need to mount this in the vehicle, so I'm going to bring that over. Now when we put this switch in, we want it to put it this way, so the wires are going to go down through the door here, and we need to bend them round. So when this is in, the door will shut and it will activate that switch to turn everything off. So I don't know if you can see that. I'll show you that again. It's going to be this way round. The wires go through there, push it down, so that when the door shuts, it's going to be able to activate the switch like that. Now we're going to hold this in place with this little tab here. That's going to go this way round, and it's going to be held in with DM screws. I've got one in, as you can see there. I'll put the other one in, then I'll tighten these up. Nice and tight. Now don't worry about the switch going into this section here, because there's actually a bit of metal from the other door that's going to go down to activate that switch just there. So this should be quite flush on this side. So that's nice and tight in there, and then all we want to do is just route this wire out through the little hole that we've got just on that side there. Now the last thing we've got is a little door clip here to put in. That's just going to go in here like that. And that's going to be held in, once again, with a DM screw. Which means all we have to do now is mount the door. So if I just open this door up from the front here, you can see that we've got two holes there, which are going to match the holes on the hinge, or the lugs that we got there. We just want to line them up, just like this. Close the door, then close this one as well. Turn it over, and we're going to be attaching it from this side here with screws. These are very long, so I'm going to dip them into a little bit of oil first, and I'm going to put them into the holes that you can just see here. One there. One there, and then tighten these up. Now they are as tight as I can get them, but when I turn the car back over, and I will spin it round, so you can see these doors here. That's the front door, that closes okay, and that is the back door, and that closes all right. Wow, that went really well, but that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 89, you can see we're doing the left rear window, skirting and frame. Not a lot to do in this. It's a lot of trim that we're going to be putting on the outside, but we are going to have to bend this round manually. So quite simply, this is what that trim looks like. And the first one we want has a slight bend going around here, a flat bottom with the angle at the top like that. This is just going to be going onto this side just here. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up the bottom there, and then we're going to stick this so it goes round that bends there. So to do that, take the tape off at the back there. Just zoomed in the top camera. Make sure that's seated in there, absolutely perfect. And then just guide it round. Take your time to make sure it's in the channel. And there we go. That will fit absolutely perfect in there like that. Now we're going to do the really big long one we got on top here. That looks like that. So once again, take off the tape. Now this one's going to go very tight and flush into the corner there, holding it in and then guiding it down all the way until we get to this part, and then we need to again bend that round so it's quite tight against the matching piece there. going to hold that for a second to let the adhesive have a chance to feel the heat of my hand, so that bend is memory formed as well. Now I have been holding this end for a minute, but I do think it's going to need a little bit more, so I'm just going to put a clamp on that till I'm happy that it's completely and utterly stuck down. Just like that. We'll come back to that at the end because we've got one more piece to put on here. Take the adhesive off again, line up the top. I think this time I'll line up. That's nice and tight. Follow the grid down, and that's that trim on as well. So while I'm just waiting for that to adhere, I have actually put a little bit, tiny little bit of glue on that to keep that in. That's why I've clamped it for the minute, but we'll have a look at that afterwards. We'll go on to stage 90. So here's stage 90. So we're going to be taking the window we've just done. We've got another bit of trim just to put down the middle there. Then we're going to be bringing up the vehicle, putting the windows in, putting the trim over the top and attaching that in, then turning it around to hold all of that into place with AP screws. And that is all there's going to be to do in this pack. So once again, got another bit of trim here. Let's take that off. And we'll put this into place. Again, making sure it's all the way into those channels there. Absolutely perfect. Then we're going to need to bring up the vehicle. And I'm going to bring this up so you can actually see the windows we're working from on the top camera there, also on the side camera. Because these are what the windows look like. We're going to have one going in here like that. And the second one will be going in here just like that. Now we're going to be holding these into place by the frame, and as you can see, that bend is now in. That's just going to go onto there like this, and it's going to be held in with VM screws. So one here, make sure that's nice and tight, one down the end, and just the final one in the middle here. That's kept those windows in. And then line it on its front. We're going to be putting the rest of these into place from the other side with AP screws. Now it's going to take 5 of these. So we've got one in the middle here. Probably best. Actually, I've just moved it so you can see it on the top camera there. Got one down the bottom here. One down the bottom here. And then in these two holes here, hope you can see that, here and here, we're going to be putting VM screws. So it's just 3 AP screws, 2 VM screws. And that one there is number 2. So that window's now fully in. Just show you what that looks like on the side camera there, which is pretty hard, but that's pretty much everything we've been working on. It's so heavy, I'm going to try and show you on here, but there you go. That is the end of that vehicle done. I've got some fingerprints on the glass I need to get off, but God, it's heavy. I'm going to put it down. But that's all there is to do in this month's pack, and hopefully the next pack will be here in 4 weeks. But once again, if you want to get hold of this yourself, put the link down the bottom there. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.